Hey, so how are you
Hello.
today, everyone? Today we have Egan de Los Cobos, and he is a friend of mine. We actually met um, at an event, and we both shared our stories, and we joked that we were like psoriatic arthritis twins because I had personally never met anybody that had the same diagnosis as me, and we had a very similar story as far as stress goes. I know that's not the same for everybody, but today we'll talk about that in a little bit, but I wanted to focus and ask Egan, who is a firefighter. So that's his full-time job. Um, but him and his wife, Rachel, both do the business together. And I wanted to ask and get some feedback on how this has impacted their family right now when a ton of people are losing jobs, why it is beneficial to have a plan B in their family, and how over the last year or two that this has blessed their family to have an additional source of income, and this business in particular, why it's benefited them. So if you could share a little bit of that, that would be awesome.
Oh, sure. Absolutely. So I think just kind of like yourself, I never planned on having another business at all. I've been a firefighter paramedic for 13 years full time and about 20 years total in this stuff. So I never really planned on doing any kind of business. This kind of found me just kind of through my own health journey. But however, this obviously has found us and has grown into a business, and it's allowed my wife to be able to fulfill her dream, which was to be able to be a stay-at-home mom. She was in corporate America. She was in news and media before all this, and she also did like high company or large company sales too. So she did a lot of that stuff. But she's ultimately wanted to be stay-at-home mom. And so this opportunity has allowed us to be able to fulfill that. So over the last, so our daughter's now going to be 2. We have another baby on the way. And all this was made possible by having that second stream of income too. So I was before a lot of this too, and we bought a house within the last year. So leading up to this, we were renting, saving money, and trying to buy the house. And then along the way, we had a baby, and so my wife was now staying at home. And then, but we were fortunate enough to be able to grow this business and have that second stream of income. And by doing that, that allowed us to save that money to be able to buy our house this last year. So that was kind of a huge saving grace. It's a dream of ours to have together. We have a great neighborhood and everything. It's exactly what we wanted. And it wouldn't have been possible if it wasn't for Plexus and this business. And not to mention, it's turned into something even more relevant today for us. So all of us are staying at home, we're in quarantine, working from home is nothing new to a lot of us now. So which is something that's a true blessing. And I actually made that point to my son about this too. So I told him that, hey, if things are going to be changing when it comes to obviously the economic outlook of things, this is not just the tip. This is the tip of the iceberg of things that are to come. Unfortunately, that's just kind of the way things happen, unfortunately, when it comes to recessions and whatnot. And I said, you're very fortunate because nothing's different. His stepmom, Rachel, is already staying at home.
Yeah.
She's already working from home. I'm fortunate that I have my job because it's an essential service. So I'm still going to work and I'm still coming home, but a lot of his friends, unfortunately, aren't in that boat. So in regards to us, it's turned into something that is such a huge blessing, and to be able to help others along the way with that is so huge for us and our family. I didn't get into this business to make money. I didn't get into this. I didn't wish upon these health issues that I, ended up getting either too. But I think everything kind of happens, and that's kind of what it's turned into that for us too. So the big part of this is I'm a helper. I'm a firefighter paramedic. That's what I do. That's what I go. People call, I go help them. So this is nothing new outside the box for me. So people say, hey, I got this, I got that, or me going after people saying, hey, I have this going on. Would you like to look at this? Or is this something would you be wanting to learn about? to help you, because that's what I like. Is like I enjoy helping people, and this business that's what it's all about. And it's created that second stream of income. So the Plexus is so amazingly generous when it comes to this too, that most people get paid every 2 weeks or once a month. That's kind of the standard. Plexus business is you get paid up to 5 times a month, which is amazing. So talk about a steady stream of income. You're getting paid that consistent, depending on where you're at in the business, whether you're like Julia or myself. There's that steady stream of income coming in, and that's making a huge difference to be able to bless us as well as others.
Well, and I think it's huge to know that you're in control of that income, right? So you can do nothing and not get the income, or you can work hard and you get paid based on what you're doing. So if money's tight and you need more, you can make more. And not only that, the company is then recognizing the downfall in the economy and saying, here's even more of an opportunity for you right now. Hey, you normally would make this, we're going to double that right now, because if you want it, it's there. And so what a blessing to be able to have literally money on a table saying, not you can have it for free, right? And so I think that's a hard thing with the government right now, is that they're just giving away free money. But internally, like, while that's easier, I think it's so much more beneficial to teach people you can work and do a little bit and you can create money. And not only now, right? So the government's giving us money now, which is fantastic, but not next month and the month after and the month after. Residual income and having a plan B is actually crucial. And most people that are financially like millionaires and billionaires all have multiple streams of income. And then they can use that, like you're saying, to invest in a home, to pay off debt, to do those things that really allow true freedom. And if you can do that by helping other people accomplish those same things, I think that's pretty awesome. Like by helping someone else relieve the burden of their health and helping someone else relieve their debt, you are able to do that for your family. And that's what I think is really incredible. But do you feel like what would you say to somebody that's like, I just don't like MLMs. I think they're weird. I think they're pushy. Why do you think this is different? Like, obviously like you wouldn't do a makeup company because you're a dude. I don't know if like you've been pitched to about other types of network marketing that may have appealed to a man, but what would you say about this? Like from a guy perspective, who's like, I already have a job. Why would I also do that?
In regards to MLMs, no, I was the person probably who said it as well too. Like, oh, that's disgusting. Like, it's a big pyramid scheme. Like, there's somebody at the top making all the money, and yep, like you're never gonna make anything. That's what I thought of, and that's all I knew about it. It's just what people said. MLM equals pyramid scheme. Versus, yep, okay, why don't you figure out what a pyramid scheme is, and then you figure out what an MLM or a network marketing company is, or direct sales. And if you actually look and do your research about how things work, it's very good. It's all about working together as a team. Now our company is different than other companies that I'm aware of too, is that you don't sit idle and you make money and other people come in. That's definitely not how this company works at all. This is all about teamwork and building each other up, and it's no different than any other corporation. What happens at the other corporations? So we got managers, nothing. If those people stop working, does the company survive? No, it does not, right? So it's all about building that team and together, and that's exactly what it is. It's helping each other and relying on one another to be able to, serve the common good. And that's how a business is. It's just a different style of business. It's no different than anything else. And I think one of the biggest things too is kind of the barriers to entry that some people think, or you hear horror stories of somebody saying, and I know they're out there, that, oh, I had to spend $5,000 into this company, and then I was broke, and then I couldn't sell my product, or I had a garage full of product,
or your closet
full of stuff. Yeah, like those are the horror stories that you hear. And yes, and those are pyramid schemes. And pyramid scheme is basically only getting people in the door to do the business. And that's not what this is about. This is about products. And that's what a business is selling products. And this is the best kind of business to be in my regards, because it's health and helping people in lots and lots of ways.
Yeah.
So, and I think the barriers to interest, you as a business owner, Julia, getting into photography, the barriers to entry on that, there's a lot of costs associated with that too, to get your equipment, to get insurance and other things too.
So
and
even just my website is about $200 to $250 a year.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or mine for Plexus, that we pay $40 to run a business per year, including a website. So I pay like $250 per year to host my photography site with the design. And then I pay another $100 a year for a gallery option to send to clients. So my base, and then that's not even including like equipment or how I have to do, GoDaddy for all my taxes and all of that. I put in a bare minimum of like $600 to $800 a year just on like things to run, like the operational mode. That's not even like investment or product or film or developing or like any of those little things. And those are all normal things that people put in because it's investment in their business. But that was a huge thing for me too, as I said, I do not want to pay, because every company of MLMs I've looked into, there's like, you can pay $500 for your starter kit or $200 or whatever. Or you can, like, the larger your starter kit, the more all the product is discounted. So it's in your best interest to make more money if you invest more on the upfront, right? If you buy the $1,500 kit, then your products are only like $70 versus, so you're making more per product. And that just overwhelmed me. My husband was like, we're not doing anything where you need a stock of product that you have to sell. This, you literally invest in whatever you're going to consume for yourself. And that's it. That's it. You're not buying product for anybody else unless you want to grab some samples. That they are all doing it, and it's getting directly delivered to their door. And it's a usable, consumable product that for whatever reasons, like if you look right now, the reason Plexus hasn't shut down is because like DC has approved supplements as equal to medicine, because it has replaced medicine for so many people that it is like a non-negotiable, will continue to be processed and shipped out to people and isn't getting shut down, where like Marshalls and TJ Maxx, right, and Old Navy, they're all paused, because supplements for so many people, including me and you, have replaced medication, and it's a must-have. It's not an optional product. And that is huge for something that we decided to create a business in, is a product that's not optional for many people.
Yes. And when you're talking about like a need for the product in regards to, for me, and I'm sure like yourself too, I was a lot of doing the natural thing, and there's a lot of supplement companies that make the supplements similar to ours, but they're separate. They're in 8 other bottles in R1. So I think that's kind of a huge part of it. And we're talking about money and savings. That's, I think, what's really sets us apart from other companies, because I've met other people, even in naturopath doctors, that are saying, hey, I like these products because one product that you have replaced 8 of these other ones that I was already taking too. So, and they're, backed by science, clinical studies. So it's pretty amazing to see and it's easy to get behind something that you're proud of, because not only does it work for you, but it's worked for thousands of others. And you don't actually believe the business side until you start seeing the check. You're like, oh, wow. I guess it is true. I am getting paid. Like I almost forgot I had my account, because my wife is the primary on that too. And I got an email saying, oh, you have, $500 like in your account. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's incredible. Like how huge is that for us right now too? And for most people to have an extra $500 just sitting around, an extra $100 a month, like how would that change somebody's life? It would change a lot of people's lives too. So
that's groceries. That's like a quarter of a mortgage for people.
That's a lot of toilet paper.
It's like, I mean, I went and piled high with like, in my mind, expensive, like luxurious, bacon and chicken and like legit food at Costco when this whole thing started, because I didn't have a surplus in my pantry, because we don't have a big pantry. And I spent like $400. And I normally never spend that much at Costco. It's somewhere between 1 and 2, because I go once a week. but I was trying to stock up for like 3 weeks. And I thought, do you know how many people can't slide a credit card right now freely for $400 without it being debt? Like how many people would do that and be like, I hope I can pay that off in the next like couple months. And just how terrifying it is right now because your kids are home. I have 4 kids at home. They're not eating school lunches where they're like rushing through their lunches to play. They're like, I'm hungry. Like my kids even said, it's not that I'm full at school. We just don't have enough time to eat. So now that they're home and they have time to eat, they're eating like double because they're actually filling up with food. And we're pushing tons of fresh produce and things like that so that they can keep their immune systems boosted. And so they're eating a lot of food. And I just feel so grateful that I can go to the store and our money right now can be put into plenty of like healthy produce. And I'm not just like beans and ricing these guys because it's cheap and they're home all day. I actually did make a thing of beans and rice and they devoured the whole thing by the end of the day. And it was a lot of food. So just to have that blessing, or that if something happens to my husband's job, that I can pay the mortgage, is tremendous. Coming from the ability to still be at home and not be in corporate America, and to create a team and be a leader and do a lot of things that aren't high stress and on my own terms. I can wake up at 6 a.m. and work. I can be present with my kids. I can get off this and go help them with their schoolwork. They're working on school right now. And that's huge for a lot of families, that they've had to quit their jobs and now they're a full-time mom and they're a full-time school teacher, and they're doing, it's a lot of overwhelm. And so to have to also cram in a full-time job where someone else has expectations of you can be really stressful. But to have a plan B at times like this has been an incredible, incredible blessing. And so would you have been able to do a plan B? And like, I know you mentioned Rachel would not have been able to stay at home without your health. Like if Rachel was still struggling with her health symptoms and she was an exhausted mom and struggling like with a pregnancy, or just like, I'm so tired being pregnant, like good luck, Egan. I'm in bed all day, right? I know that's not her. And if your health was still in the same place where your joints were in pain and you could barely walk and your scalp was a mess, like, do you think and mental health, all of that is combined, that you would be able to then happily add to your family and do a second job and still thrive at your current job? Like, do you think those would have been able to stay the same if your health had not changed along with it?
There's absolutely no way that it would be possible for me to do what we're doing now, have what we have now, if it wasn't for the health change that I was able to achieve with everything. So with my journey of gut health. So, I mean, it was just like yourself, very dark on so many days about just I just wanted to be able to like run again. There's days I couldn't hold my child. Like, there's no way we could have another kid and then adding a third child that's on the way. There's no way we could have that. I wouldn't be able to have my house right now. I wouldn't be able to give Rachel, be able to help provide the opportunity to be able to stay at home. Like I kid you, like if I didn't have those health struggles or understand what kind of needs I had, if I would have shaken it off and go, oh, supplements, or that it's just voodoo, or I don't want any part of that MLM, and I went the other way, I would be at a rheumatologist appointment probably right now. I might be on cancer medications that they want to give to people, or like you're saying, the biologics, the #1 prescribed drug in the nation right now is Humira. So like we talked about before, is just there's lots of other health consequences associated with it. There's no cure for these diseases. There's absolutely not. There's no drug out there that's a cure for these diseases either. So in my opinion, I'd much rather try something that I know has worked for me and others, to be able to, and that I know it has worked, and not to mention be able to provide like a financial stream income for our family as well. That's a total sidebar, and it's a huge part of it. And I think another big part of that is so I got my health right, and then we have a steady stream of income. But something that we don't talk as much about is the personal development that comes from all this, putting yourself out there, the goal setting, the planning, the just everything. There's a huge encompassing thing when it comes to putting yourself out there, talking to other people, communicating with other people, um, and looking insights into your own self when your own health struggles and your in business side that you learn and you establish, and that is all encompassing. Just like we talked about before, it's not just one thing. It's not just stress. It's not just sleep. It's just not food. It's just not that alcohol. It's just not the one thing. It's an all-encompassing thing. And those are all tools. And Plexus in the business side is another tool to add to be able to help in your overall health. Because I've talked about it too, is health is all-encompassing. There's physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, is financial too. So you need all that, because if you don't have money, guess what's going to happen? The stress is going to go up. Yeah. The physical health is going to decline, right? The mental health is going to decline. And if you can have all this money in the world, we know lots of rich people that, guess what? They don't have their mental health. They don't have their physical health. So you need all those aspects to be able to fill those voids. And I feel that these tools that we've been given are able to do all that.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing. That was a perfect wrap up to all of this. Everything is linked. And you can have one without the other, but to truly thrive, you need all of it. And so that's why we're so passionate about it, because this is a path to all of it. And it's totally random and different and can be viewed as weird, but it's the most incredible thing that I think we've been a part of. And we just feel so blessed to have found it and want to share it with as many people as we can so that they can live a life where they are in control and they are thriving in all aspects, because that's really what living is for and what living is about. So having a purpose and being able to help and bless other people. So thank you so much.
Yes. Thanks, Julia.
Okay, I'm going to pause.